So I've been microdosing magic mushrooms for almost 4 years now. And it's really interesting because each of the 4 years has brought something new and improved into my life. And I want to go year by year and share with you exactly what took place from the mushrooms and basically how they changed my life in each particular year. So the reason I originally started microdosing magic mushrooms was because of pretty severe anxiety and some depression. I just was, I had anxiety every day, didn't really know where it was coming from. Um, Absolutely some depression. I sought psychiatric help. Of course, they put me on antidepressant and I did talk therapy that worked maybe 50%. And I don't want a 50% lifestyle. I want more a 95 to 100% lifestyle. So that's when I started doing a lot of research and figured that psilocybin, magic mushrooms were the thing that I wanted to try to see if I could finally, once and for all, get rid of this horrible anxiety and depression. And that was my main goal. I never really even thought about anything else. The mushrooms helping me with any other aspects of my life, but you'll see it's been pretty wild ride for 4 years, and they've absolutely touched many different parts of my life. But the first year was mainly about anxiety and depression, and I was pretty fortunate because I don't know whether it was a placebo effect at the beginning. There's just no way to know this, but my anxiety and depression pretty much started diminishing very quickly to the point where I was using supplemental Valium sometimes because sometimes my days were so bad and so anxiety ridden that I had to actually, in addition to my antidepressant, I had to take a little bit of Valium sometimes, and almost immediately I was able to totally wean off of that or get off of that. So there's no turning back there. I never took that again. And then also about I don't know, I think it was about 8 months, 6 to 8 months into my microdosing, I was able to begin weaning off of my antidepressant, which, by the way, was Lexapro, and I did that quite successfully. And again, no turning back. I've never had to use an antidepressant or an anti-anxiety pharmaceutical since then. So the first year just showed me the power of these magic mushrooms, how they could take something that was so debilitating like this anxiety and depression and pretty much just rewire my brain so I thought differently and felt differently every single day in such a good way. And if you would have asked me at the beginning, well, how long would I microdose for? I would have just answered simply, well, until I felt my anxiety and depression was under control. And I would have had every right to just say at some point, once I was able to get off my antidepressant, that I don't need this anymore. I'm done. It's rewired my brain. I'm fixed. I'm fine. And that's the end of it. But I was really curious to see how I would continue to feel if I did not stop microdosing the magic mushrooms. So I just continued. And after year one, as we got into year two, it's really interesting because as my depression and anxiety were under control, I noticed that I was starting to, I wouldn't say become more spiritual, but I would say something like I would begin to understand that things out there are so complex. And I think that we're only programmed to see things in a certain dimension and in a certain way that maybe we're only programmed to see. In other words, what I'm trying to say is I think there's just so much more to the way that we perceive everything to be, like our lives, time, the universe, anything that we see. How do we know that it's really real? We're programmed to see things in a certain way with probably a lot of filters out there. So I think what we're seeing, I kind of discovered like what we're seeing and what we're feeling and what we know about life and about the universe is totally pre-programmed, and time and everything. It's probably nothing the way we think it is, but I guess we have to live with that because I don't think there's a way that we're ever going to be able to figure out exactly what everything is, if that's making sense. But the mushrooms allowed me to realize that we're such an insignificant portion of this universe. And there's so much going on and so much happening that we will never even understand or know about. We just have to kind of sit back and say, that's the way it is. I understand that what I'm seeing and experiencing is probably not reality, but what else can I do? So it was a really, I'd say, enlightening year, very interesting year, and I learned a lot, and also I learned a lot about being kinder to other people, understanding other people, being more patient. So again, I could have quit magic mushrooms after 1 year, but I decided, mainly because of my curiosity, and I was just feeling so good, and they've healed so well up to that point. I decided, let's keep this going and see what else I can get from this experience. Year 3 was really interesting year. And by the way, if you're enjoying what you're hearing and learning from me on this channel, I really ask you if you could like, share, and subscribe, because it helps the channel. And there are probably not probably, there are definitely so many more people out there that could use this type of help. And the best way to do it is to let more people know about this channel. So again, I have devoted my life these days, the past 4 years, when I have been seeing the results I've been getting, to helping other people all over the planet. So again, like, share, and subscribe. My website is microdoseu.com. It's microdose with the letter U tacked on the end of it. And I also have a Patreon page that is really a lot of action, a lot of really good energy there. It's a way to help support our cause if you so desire. It really helps the channel by becoming a premium Patreon member. And the links to Patreon and all kinds of other stuff are in the show notes here, as well as on my website, microdoseu.com. So yes, year 3, wow. Spent an entire year. The mushrooms taught me that taking control of my physical health is a really important thing to do. I mean, I've talked to you so many times about everything in our lives. Everything is connected, and we can't really just separate mental health and physical health, because everything fits together in really crazy ways. I mean, inflammation in our bodies, inflammation, if we have it, it's going to destroy us both physically and mentally. And there's just so many other examples. So the 3rd year, I really made it a point, and the mushrooms pointed me in this direction and taught me how to begin to truly take care of my physical health. I mean, my entire life, I'm turning 70 in just a few months, and my entire life, I've always been an athlete. I've always thought I was eating as healthy as possible, exercising, meditating, yoga, all the things that they say to do that, are keep you super, super healthy. But I realized during this 3rd year that maybe a lot of the things that I thought were healthy were not necessarily as healthy as I thought. One of the major examples was I was vegan for 7 years. Not only do I love animals, and I just can't stand the thought of, murdering animals for food. Also, I was vegan because I was led to believe that eating meat and animal products is just horrible for us and will kill us. Well, the mushrooms taught me differently after, again, becoming a guinea pig with my own body for 7 years being vegan. And I think being vegan was slowly killing me. It was just, they're causing so many little medical issues in my body, including the depression and anxiety. Look it up. I mean, it's documented out there that not having certain nutrients, including animal products, can definitely lead to mental health issues. But it taught me so much more. Some of the things I was doing just weren't really ideal, and I took control of things like my blood pressure, my cardiac health, my sleep apnea, which started before that, but I think that was the year that I really was able to take major control, and my sleep is much better now. Getting out there and doing things, joining a gym, and hiring a personal trainer to help me with my health. And although that went south after about, I think after about 2 years, I think that went pretty far south, because she turned out to be We won't go into that here, but I think I've talked to you about that. A little bit of a whack job, unfortunately, which is a shame because I really, really did like her, but um, it just didn't work out. But year three was the year that I really took my medical and physical health to a level that I had never taken it in my life at all. And I just feel like now, in year four of microdosing, I feel so much better about my mental and physical health. So the mushrooms have really, really paid off for me in a big way. I look at them as teachers because, again, they don't do everything for you, but they kind of guide you to where they think you need work in your life, and they certainly guided me. Year one, anxiety and depression. Year two, spirituality, understanding, kindness, things like that. Year three, my physical health, and then year four took a very interesting turn. I didn't really know where they were going to be guiding me in year four, but what they've done for me was very interesting. They took a serious turn to help me with my financial health. I hired a really good financial planner here in Salt Lake City that I met a couple years earlier, maybe at least a year earlier, but we just became friends and worked through a lot of things. And then I actually hired him to help me with my personal finance. And I think in doing that, taking my personal financial health to an entirely different level. Like I said, I've worked with financial planners and things like money managers and people like that all all throughout my life, all throughout my adult life. And I've had so many stories. I've gotten ripped off. I've had just so many crazy, crazy stories. I've had some good ones for sure. But I think this year, hiring this guy in Salt Lake City who I'm very, very aligned with, um, has just is really going to take my financial health to another level. And like I said, everything is connected. And when you're in pretty decent health financially, that does not mean you have to be wealthy, by the way. I want to make a clear delineation. Hiring a financial planner is a really good thing to do, but you don't have to be a multimillionaire or even a millionaire to be able to do this. The most important thing that a financial planner helps you with is things like retirement, spending, where your money should go, how much you can draw down in retirement, taxes, things like that. And again, it doesn't really matter if you have like a lot of money or just a little bit of money. A good financial planner is worth their weight in gold. No pun intended there. Also, I've begun to work really diligently on my brain health. As I get older, cognitive decline is a very common thing. And what I started doing is taking very serious Japanese lessons. Yeah, I've spoken a little bit of Japanese here and there for about 20 years, just some phrases, and I really couldn't, I wasn't fluent, or it wasn't conversational. And I still am not really, but after 1 year now of taking very serious online Japanese lessons with a true tutor that is from Osaka, Japan, who do it at least 3 times every single week, it not only fulfills something that I've wanted to do for quite some time, and that is speak Japanese, but studying a foreign language, I believe, is really, really good for brain health. And that's one of the reasons I'm doing it for sure. It just keeps us, um, it keeps our brain nimble, keeps it exercised. They say the brain is a muscle. I'm not so sure that it's a real muscle, but again, the more you exercise it and get that muscle memory going in your brain and do things that are a little bit outside of your ordinary comfort zone, I think it will actually um, prevent cognitive decline coming on so quickly. That's my hope, and it's worked so far. And plus, I really do love it. And the other thing that's the mushrooms have taught me, and perhaps maybe the one of the biggest lessons in the 4 years for me, is the line that I've taught you. I taught you a few episodes ago. I shared this with you, but the fact that I've realized I am in control. Four very simple words that whenever now I get myself into some kind of a weird situation in my life, I come back to those four words. I am in control. When my personal trainer started doing some really weird things in the gym, and I just felt very weird and hurt and didn't know what to do, I came back to those four words, meaning like, hey, I'm the one here that's in control. I'm the client. I'm the one that's paying her. why should I be abused? And so I realized that I'm the one in control. And I've used this for so many other things in my life. That's just a little example. But every time I'm in a little bit of a situation, I start to say to myself, I am in control. And I urge you to do this because, again, I believe these are the four most powerful words you can ever say to yourself and say out loud or say in any way. Just think to yourself. They are really, really powerful and they work in almost every single situation. So as I come to close to the end of my fourth year of microdosing, it's going to be in just a couple months, ending the fourth year of microdosing. Some people ask me, and I even ask myself, am I going to go into year five? Am I going to continue to microdose magic mushrooms in year five? And right now, I have no reason to believe that I'm not. I might take a little bit of a break. Who really knows? But I think this medicine, this plant medicine, is so powerful and so life changing. You never know what's going to be next with it. So my answer is I have no plans to stop, and I have every intention of keeping this going and sharing with you actually what happens in year number five. And I have no idea what's going to happen, but in year number five, microdosing magic mushrooms. But yeah, again, year number five doesn't start for another 2-3 months or so. But I'm a little bit ahead of the game, but I'm so excited about this. And not only that, but so excited about how many people I have helped over the last several years with this. I thank you for following me. I've always said brand new episode every Wednesday and Friday. However, my announcement now is going to be I'm really considering putting my energy into one fantastic episode per week as opposed to two. Sometimes pushing 2 episodes out per week just gets to be a little bit difficult for me. So it's not official yet, but there's a very good chance I'm going to be going to 1 episode per week, and most likely it will be on the Wednesday. So I'll let you know, I'll keep you informed. And we've got a lot going on in the Patreon channel. So if you have withdrawal and you want more than once per week, just join us on the Patreon channel. We got so many good people there and such great energy, and it's always going on that channel 24/7. We got things going. So just a suggestion there. I'm Dr. Dave. I love you, and I will talk to you in the next episode.